Hi, everybody. After sharing a little bit, now I want to share a little bit more just about my recovery journey from bulimia nervosa and how yoga or mindfulness was really and continues to be a helpful tool for me. I know there are many, many paths of recovery, and that there are probably a whole bunch of people that are doing really, really well that took a very different path than me. So, not sharing that this is the way, the only way, or that I have all the answers, but just a little bit of when I look back as to some pivotal moments or some things that really helped move me in a better direction. And that's what I'm going to share today. So, I do highly recommend therapy, registered dietitians, treatment teams, all that. I did all of that. And it's definitely an essential tool. Therapy really helped me to find compassion and release shame and to feel more acceptance and understanding for myself and why I ended up the way I ended up. And also seeing other people going through similar things in group therapy and feeling love for them, regardless of their struggles or what it was that they were going through or the behaviors they were acting upon, feeling love for them anyway. And then mirroring that back to me helped me to start to feel the same way for myself, to really build a sense of self acceptance and release the heaviness, the guilt, the shame, and all of the yucky, heavy, heavy energy. So, after all of that, what comes to mind is is Hatha Yoga Nushasanam, the first sutra of yoga. Now the practice of yoga begins. I used to do this thing all the time where I'll do it later or I'll start this tomorrow. Screw this moment, screw this now. I'm just going to engage in all of this behavior that's not serving me and I'll do it tomorrow. No. Now the practice of yoga begins. And what this reminds me of is when I was a kid and someone had said to me that practice makes permanent. So, what am I practicing right now? What am I putting my energy into that is building a momentum? And recognizing that this moment right now matters. No matter what action I was just in or how many cookies I just eaten or whatever. Now, right now, my practice of yoga begins when I catch myself and I can bring myself back. Not a cue to beat myself up any further, because that would be practicing harming. That would be practicing beating myself up, which would give me more of that in the future. So I think there was this one moment where I had seen the movie The Secret, and there was just one sharing that a man had shared about how all of what we're experiencing right now is the residual of our past thoughts, feelings, and actions. And that if we were to think, act, feel differently, we could be planting new seeds, and that our next reality, or what would come in the future, would look and be different. I don't know why, but it was mind blowing to me. And I hadn't thought that way. I was really in a depressed state where I felt stuck and hopeless, and that I was really stuck in these patterns and that there was no way out and I didn't have any hope. But hearing those messages gave me a spark of hope and a spark of maybe things could be different. Maybe there is hope. And that was huge. Having hope or the possibility that life could be different is huge, and that was a pivotal moment for me. And also building a strong enough why, a big enough desire that will carry you through all of the challenges of whatever changes that you're making. There was a man I had an infatuation or a crush on, and in a moment of kind of like a little date interaction, he shared to me that his mother was bulimic. And when he was sharing as a grown man, he was sharing from a place of pain, from a place of anger, from a place of trauma, from a place of, oh my gosh, he's still wounded from this and really carrying this. And wow. And hearing it from that lens, something in me was just like, oh my God, I just do not want to carry this forward. This cannot be my legacy. And I do not want to carry this forward. And I think there was also another seed of a mothering energy in me, of me wanting to be a good mother, though that doesn't happen till years down the line. There was an awareness that being a mother is important to me. And oh my, I cannot pass this on to a child. I cannot carry this forward in the world. And so there was a quality of me kind of stepping up and then stepping into being for myself the mother that I would want to be. And that was a really big shift for me, because after I had talked to that man, I really made the decision, affirmative decision, that I was going to stop purging. I was already doing well, much better than I'd been doing, but it was a really serious decision that I was done purging. So those are a couple moments where I can feel that there was change happening within me. And where I think yoga continues to help me is the first sutra of yoga, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, of Atha Yoga Nushasanam. Now the practice of yoga begins. There were many times in my recovery where I would say, I'm going to do this tomorrow. And I would just completely engage in behaviors that were harmful and not helpful for me. They were harmful, and I just get all into them and say, I'm going to deal with this tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm done. I'll be done tomorrow. It never worked. And the reason being is because my practice is now. We become what we consistently practice. So if I'm practicing putting something off till tomorrow, I'm practicing procrastination. I'm practicing fueling more of what I don't want, whether that's self-hatred or feeling defeated or feeling not good enough, or affirming through my actions and my behaviors that I don't matter or this moment doesn't matter. And when I began to shift differently to this moment matters. I matter. Right now matters. No matter how many cookies I was in or whatever it was. Now, coming back to right now, what is of value to me now? How do I want to be for myself right now? So again, not a cue to beat myself up further, because that would be practicing beating myself up, but a cue to come back to where are my values and what matters for me right now going forward. And so even with food or my body, yoga helped me to give less energy to my thoughts. That thoughts, regardless of the content, they're just thoughts, whether it's about calories, my body, what I look like, blah, 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 blah. All the stories society says are messages about women and all that. It's just thoughts. They're just thoughts. And so the more I could find some space around my thoughts, space from the thoughts, to just sit with what is really in front of me, the food that's in front of me, without all the judgments of good, bad, right, wrong, all the weight of the past, all the shame or all the heaviness of the past, but really just being with what's right here in front of me from a place of calm, from a place of not that weight. My relationship with food and my body began to shift. So you can recognize the heavy emotions, the heavy thoughts, find some space around them, and be with, what am I bringing to the table? Not making it about the it or the food or my body. What am I bringing to the table? How am I being in this moment? Because that's truthfully in part what I'm digesting in my experience. All the beliefs, all the heavy emotions, all the that's, if I bring that to the table, it's going to make my digestive process a lot more difficult. It's not going to help me out in any way. So anyway, that for me was a huge piece of recognizing that I digest more than food and calories, but my thoughts and feelings about things, and making it a little bit deeper about how am I being for myself right now? What am I bringing to the table? And less about the food, the calories, or my body. Hopefully, maybe this resonates with someone. Maybe it's not about food, but maybe it's about something else. And that power of now, of what am I practicing right now? How am I showing up? What am I bringing to the table? And planting new seeds of trusting that you can, and that we do, we can grow through anything. So anyway, let me know your thoughts. Just sharing a little bit from my heart about my story, just a piece of my recovery journey, and where I think mindfulness and yoga can be so helpful from freeing up some space. Thank you so much.